I had the privilege of interviewing Dawko, one of Five Nights at Freddy's biggest creators. We spoke about all things Dead by Daylight and Five Nights at Freddy's, including his relationship with Scott Cawthon, his cameo in the Five Nights at Freddy's film, Hex Store, and so much more. You do not want to miss out. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I hope you enjoy this interview.
Were you like an OG Dead by Daylighter back in the day when it first came out?
I was a little bit. I wasn't like super OG, but I did play it around the time when Legacy was still in the game. I just didn't play it a whole lot. I kind of got back into it when the Curtain Call DLC came in, which is like Clown and Kate Denson. So it's still quite early, but yeah, so many chapters have happened since then.
I know, it's crazy.
It's been
like
crazy.
9 years.
Yeah, literally 8-9 years. Alrighty.
How do you like? Have you played this a lot then? Have you been playing this map or anything?
I actually haven't. I've only played, I think like one. Hello. I need to.
Hello.
Real quick, get the. Where is it? Player name visibilities. There we go. I can see you playing Bill. Yeah, no, I haven't really played a whole lot of the PTB. Honestly, I kind of just like cranked out a bit of content on it, and then yeah, it just came off it. This is probably my first time. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, he
out
has
of
a
nowhere,
perk, right, where he can be like he's quiet, right, or something. Like when he goes through the security doors.
Oh,
I don't even know.
What on?
Did you just get jump scared?
I think I was supposed to be, but I got like my characters like slid across the map.
What the heck?
I don't even know what happened. That was interesting. Okay.
Yeah, this is why there's a PTB, guys.
Exactly.
Let's go.
But yes, for anybody who doesn't know anyway, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay,
to say a bit about you and all that?
While I'm getting literally chased by Springtrap right now.
Oh, you're getting chased literally right now.
I think so. I've got the chase music, but he might. I think he's after Yo Mama's Hairy Nuts, so it's okay.
Oh, yes, yeah. Standard DBD name.
Hey, guys. I'm Dawko. I've been playing FNAF since 2014. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm still playing FNAF. And then, obviously, I've been super hyped about this new DLC and with FNAF and Dead by Daylight. I've been wanting this for years and years and years. People still go back to my tweet from 2020 saying like, hey guys, have you ever had Scott Cawthon about oh god, hold on.
Oh, took the hit though.
I was like, hey guys, have you had Scott about Springtrap being in Dead by Daylight? Hopefully he listens. People still look back on that. Guys, I don't know if Scott looked at that email or anything. I have no idea.
We don't know.
I'm just so happy that it's finally here. It's been like a fever dream the past couple of days just playing this because like the graphics and everything. Springtrap looks so good as well.
Yes.
And have you seen the Mori?
I did, yes. I got the chance to see it yesterday.
That
Insane.
is probably the most gruesome, like, thing we've ever seen from FNAF, like, in 10 years, like, ever. So, I'm
really?
so glad. Yeah, I'm so happy that Scott allowed Behaviour to, you know, do this in the first place. Because people were worried that Scott was going to take some steps back and be like, oh no, this is too gruesome, this is too much, but he's you know, he's accepted it all.
Quite open-minded with it all.
Yeah,
that was kind
really
of what I was. Yeah, that's kind of the thing that I was going to tie into as well with like the first main question was what your opinion was on this chapter specifically. I know you've already touched upon it, but like what specifically have you thought was quite, because obviously Five Nights at Freddy's has been around for a very long time now as well, and like you said, it's one of the most brutal pieces of media that it's been kind of linked with now, and like you say, the Mori is very extreme. How do you feel about all of that? Is it like a breath of fresh air, or?
Yes, it is. I think for a while now, we've when some recent games have come out like Security Breach and stuff, and the Ruin DLC and Secret of the Mimic in a couple weeks. I think people have been wanting some if we want like FNAF just to take a bit of a step forward into more of like the horror aspects of things. Like, yes, we know the dark story that William Afton has killed some kids and shoved them into a suit and stuff, but like we don't really see the grittiness of that. We just know about the story, right?
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see. This sounds really wrong, but it's cool to see like gore and stuff in FNAF for once, you know.
Yeah, it's usually left to your imagination from what I understand. I'm still very new to the FNAF universe. I'm going to be playing a couple of the games sooner rather than later as well, which is really exciting. But yeah, like you say, it starts off, like, from what I understand, very lore-oriented. And a lot of it is kind of seen and not shown a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, but FNAF has been taking steps forward though. Like, are you getting more?
I got destroyed. I got picked up straight away. I think I'm gonna be dead now.
That
was a quick game for me.
Yeah, I think for all of us, to be honest.
Yeah.
So last year a game came out called Into the Pit, and it showed more like gore and stuff in that. Not a lot. And then with the FNAF movie, I think people were a bit disappointed that there wasn't enough horror to it, or like, you know, gore and stuff. But I understand Scott's decision. I don't know if you watched the FNAF movie, but there is a part where somebody gets chopped in half by Freddy's mouth. Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
You actually see the shadow of like you don't see it, but you see like the shadow of someone getting split in half.
I remember watching the film because I thought that was so cool as well. Like the fact that they even brought out a film like that. Like to the big screen, because I saw it literally in the cinema. Like, it was such a cool experience, and I can only imagine what it was like for somebody like you who's been basically brought up around Five Nights at Freddy's, and the majority of your kind of creator like life, I guess, has been revolved around this game and franchise as well. So
yeah. I think Scott decided to take this step with FNAF with Dead by Daylight, probably because he trusted behavior, and he probably knew what Dead by Daylight was like, right? You know, it's an 18 plus game, right? With like is it? I don't even know. Is it 18 plus this game?
It's definitely a mature game. Yeah.
So I think Scott knew that going in. And he just thought, like, you know what, screw it. Like, I trust behavior. I trust what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, let's do something crazy with FNAF. I'm getting worried right now.
We get the Maury. Yeah, I'm seeing your POV.
But yeah, it's just nice to see. And I think the reaction of this has been very, very positive. And I think Scott is going to see that and think, you know what, maybe I will explore FNAF a bit more with other collabs and stuff in the future. You know, I feel like this was a big step for Scott. Scott is very closed off with collabs. He doesn't like doing collabs with games and stuff. He has to like trust the developer and stuff.
Yeah.
Because this, in 10 years, this is the biggest collab Scott's, you know, FNAF's ever done, ever.
Okay.
And the reaction to this, I think, has been very, very positive, especially with FNAF fans. We are so happy with what Behaviour have done with the map and Springtrap. Springtrap looks so good.
Yes, yes.
So I think we're all very happy. I think I don't know about the Dead by Daylight players' reaction to this collab.
No,
I haven't really looked around.
Yeah, no. From what I understand, I'll quickly back out as well. We'll go straight into a new one.
Yeah.
From what I understand, especially within the DBD community, people are so aware that Five Nights at Freddy's is such a kind of, what is the word I'm looking for here? Anticipated chapter, right?
Yes.
Like, everybody has been looking forward to it. It's been so, like, hyped. I'm pretty sure when they posted the kind of teaser tweet about it as well, it was, like, the most interacted, like, tweet or post that DBD have ever made. So, like, everybody was excited for it. And I don't think it's disappointed anybody. The only thing that I think would have been really nice would have been if we had a survivor, because I feel like the issue is going to be when this goes into live servers, the killer queue times are going to be so long for a long time, and that can impact the health of the game. But that is such a good issue to have, considering how popular like the media is. You know, that shows it's successful. So
Yeah, they had server issues yesterday, right? With like how many people were playing it and stuff. So
it was almost breaking records, and that was just the PTB.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I feel like I'm hoping as well. I don't actually know this with Dead by Daylight. So do you know past collabs and stuff with licenses? Have they ever done more than one? Like, let's say Halloween or something. Have they ever done? Have they ever like launched a like license and then do the same license like a year or so later or anything?
They
ever done
did,
that?
yes. So they did the Resident Evil chapter.
There you go then.
Yeah,
Okay.
with Nemesis at first, I think. I can't remember the two survivors. I think it was just Leon and Ada.
I'm positive that, well, I feel like this is going to do insanely well for behavior anyway. I feel like I'm hoping there's going to be another update in the future where they add survivors.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. I do think that's going to be the plan, in my opinion.
Fingers
I don't
crossed,
see why not. Because, you know, from the reaction and everything, we obviously don't know how many people are going to be playing when it's released compared to the PTB, but I still feel like it's going to be a lot.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I feel like it's a no-brainer that they're going to add survivors in the future. Have they ever added like a... Oh no, they did Wesker and Nemesis, right? So that's
that was
two
it,
killers.
yeah. Wesker was the second killer. So they released at first, I think it was a killer and 2 survivors. And then they did an identical DLC with another killer and 2 survivors. Oh, wow.
I'm already
the spring trap is... No, you're all good. I think we're probably... oh no, I might have been spotted now. I think I have. Yeah, we're in chase.
There's theories going around that Foxy might be a killer, which is very interesting. Because if you've noticed, Foxy isn't on the map, which is really weird.
Oh yes,
yeah,
it was
so
it was
no
a
Foxy.
plushie, right?
Yeah, in Pirates Cove, there's just a plushie with like a box.
Yeah, yeah.
And people think like Foxy's stored in there currently or something like that. It's just very weird that there's no Foxy. And people are like, why is there no Foxy for?
Yeah,
so,
because, forgive me for not knowing all the names. So there's Freddy, Chica, and then there's one other person that's on the front stage, right?
Yeah, Bonnie, Freddy, and Chica.
That's it.
Yeah.
And,
but there's so much that behavior can do. There's so many cool animatronics that they could do. There's, people really want... there's a character in FNAF called Circus Baby, who's very, very terrifying.
Oh, okay.
There's Foxy that people are theorizing about. Ennard is a really good one as well. The Mimic. Yeah. So, yeah, I do feel like we'll see more FNAF. I'm not going to lie. If they've done it with Resident Evil, I think they will. I'm pretty confident,
I really hope so, yeah. To kind of tie it back in as well, would you be able to, like, talk a little bit about... like, I guess how you started creating content in the first place, and then how it ended up kind of tying into Five Nights at Freddy's, and what made you kind of stick around with that franchise.
Of course. Yeah. So, before even doing YouTube, I was doing Twitch. Like, 11 years ago, this time 11 years ago, I was streaming Pokemon. I was doing, like, Pokemon challenges and shiny hunting and... trying to catch legendary Pokemon with Pokeballs and stuff. So
I feel like we've all had that era with Pokemon. I did the exact same thing. A little bit more recently with one of the newer games, but I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I was just streaming on Twitch just casually for like 6 months or something. And then FNAF came out. I did stream the first game and I absolutely loved it. It didn't really take off. I didn't really get... popular from doing Five Nights at Freddy's the first game. Okay. It was only until FNAF 2 came out, November 2014, I got very, very lucky where I found an Easter egg in FNAF 2. Like, probably one of the first people to find it. It was Shadow Freddy in Parts and Service. And another one was an like a secret endoskeleton in the prize corner.
Oh, okay.
Any FNAF OGs will know what I'm talking about.
They'll know.
But I uploaded the clips of those on YouTube, and they went viral. And then I started getting like FNAF YouTubers messaging me saying like, hey, can we use this clip and stuff? And if you've got any theories, let me know. And I was like, oh, theories, okay. And then I started doing theory videos and stuff. And that's when I started doing more FNAF content. I was at uni. Yeah. I was at uni doing
uni
lore
as
at the
well.
time. Yeah. Do you know where Keel is? No, Keel.
Keel? I don't off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, I was at Keel University
Keel
doing
University.
law.
Okay.
I quit uni. I was like, yeah, I'm doing YouTube now.
Full-time content.
Dad, oh God, whoops. My mum and dad were like, what are you doing? Why have you quit uni to do FNAF theories? And I'm like, yeah, we'll see what happens, YOLO. Luckily, it did pay off eventually.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's
a bit of a
that's
gamble.
Where I started. Yeah,
no,
it was
that's
a
fair
big
enough.
gamble.
That's one of the things as well when you're getting into content. Like, I still haven't really done it myself, where there's this kind of ongoing gamble of, like, when is the good time or the right time to quit? You know what I mean? And I still haven't really found it. I'm gonna go down as well. I have no idea.
I think you'll just know. I think you'll just have a feeling when you know when the time's right to take the risk and do it.
Right.
But I feel like you're doing the smartest thing. Like, you know, what I did was very risky. I don't advise, you know, people doing that. But at the same time, in the back of my head, I was like, you know, if this doesn't work, I can always go back to uni and just do it again. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there was always a plan B. So, you know, if it did fail, you know, it is what it is, right?
Exactly. That's fair.
But I think... Oh, God, hold on.
It's all good. I started spectating you.
I'm getting chased, right. No. I feel like you'll just know.
Okay, okay.
That was stupid of me. I'm dead.
Oh, you were mind gaming for a little bit, though. Yeah. I respect it.
Yeah, I think you'll know, and then like you got to think like, you know, again, I wouldn't advise it on people. Like when you start off with content creation, like always treat it as a hobby. Never go into streaming and YouTube like, you know, aiming it. Like obviously you can have your ambitions and stuff for it to be a job, but at the time, like always just have fun with it and have it treat it as, you know, have it as a hobby and just enjoy it.
Right, right.
You know,
that's fair enough.
Say.
I think that's honestly the wisest thing to do. And again, where I work full-time as well, I have that kind of steady income at the moment. So I think taking the jump would be... it's always going to be a risk, but you can prepare as much as, you know, anybody can. But taking the jump, it will feel right, you know, when the time comes.
Yeah, so. You'll know when. Like, let's say, you know, you've got enough you know, you're making more money than your job, for example, or something like that. Like, you know, that's when you... know when you know you have that feeling. But at the same time, like, would you ever think like if you said to your boss or something, like, you know, if you did quit, you know, if it didn't work, would you have the opportunity to be able to go back to the job or something like that? Or?
Yeah, I definitely could ask, right? My work is a little bit more complicated on surface level, and yeah. But I mean, that will be something that I'll have to discuss, I guess, right? I'll have to get into a conversation with them about it. But hey, enough about me. We're here to talk about you. I have a couple more questions. So one of them I wanted to ask was to do with the Five Nights at Freddy's film. I know we touched on it earlier on. And for anybody that has seen the film, they might recognize your image inside.
The single frame, guys.
The single frame.
Yeah. So,
yes.
There was actually a shot where you actually get a full focus on that Employee of the Month board.
Okay.
Basically, one of the burglars who go into the location smash it with a baseball bat, and then you get a close up of all the cameos and stuff, but they cut it. So
no. I was gonna say I remember watching it vividly, but I never saw that part. I'm assuming it was because they cut it. Unfortunately, they did.
But it's
I'll
okay.
let you lock in.
You know, that's Hollywood. That's Hollywood. You know, apparently that always happens where they cut things. Oh God, I'm gonna die.
Oh.
Is this my last hook? Yeah.
I never noticed. Lucky. I never noticed when he dropped the pallet. It's little environmental details like
the
that.
pots and pans.
Yeah.
I saw that too.
They start vibrating and like moving about. It's so nice. It all adds to like the map and the life of it. Another Mori.
What's he doing? Yeah, goodbye. Yeah. Anyway, what was you on about with that? With the cameo?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So, because I know you went to go visit the set as well out in America.
I did, yeah.
What was that all like as well? And did you have any involvement within, like, anything to do with the film? Or any inspiration was taken from an idea of yours, for example?
Any inspiration? I don't think so. I don't remember.
Okay.
There were times like, so when we was at the set, we were with Scott, and he had like this cool little hideout and a big monitor, and he got to watch everything, like behind the scenes. He was watching everything.
Oh, okay.
And if he didn't like a scene, like he told them to do something else and stuff like that. It was really fun.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
So yeah, we got to witness like watching a bunch of scenes all together, and we kind of discussed things together as well. I don't think that means we implemented any ideas or anything. But it was still really cool to be behind the scenes and see what Scott does. And
exactly, the process of it all.
Yeah, he had such a big involvement with the movie because it was his baby, right? But it was really cool to see Scott doing that behind the scenes, and how everybody respected his wishes and his opinions and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was really cool to see. But yeah, being at the movie set was insane. Actually, some of the, you know, the location in this Dead by Daylight, the pizzeria.
Yes,
I can definitely see that they took big inspiration from the FNAF movie Pizzeria. The colours of the colours in the area, like the dining room with the seating booths and stuff. Like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, this is the FNAF movie location. Very similar.
That's pretty cool.
There's still obviously some differences and stuff because, you know, Behaviour must have just wanted to do their own pizzeria style, but
I take it like the layout is probably a little bit different, and I know that there's
the layout's different. Yeah,
like the entity. I actually watched your reaction video on the I think it was the teaser, or there were screenshots or something to do with it. And you were talking about how like the entity has like kind of created different pathways and had its own like way of infecting the map, and like there's, you know, openings to certain parts of the building that you wouldn't usually have, you know, in obviously in a typical kind of location for it. So it's nice that they've put their twist on things, but they've still kept it quite true. And again, like walking around the entire main building of the you know, pizzeria map, there's so much to look at and to reference back into like these games as well, and just the franchise in general. So you would say that it's more compared to the film location as opposed to games and things like that?
Yeah, I'd say FNAF 1 location with the FNAF 1 movie. Well, I mean, the FNAF 1 movie location is supposed to be based around FNAF 1. So, yeah, I'd say, yeah, FNAF 1 with the FNAF 1 movie location. Like, it's like a tie-in with it's like a mix of FNAF 1, FNAF movie location, and just Behaviour. Just doing their own design to it as well. Okay,
that's pretty cool. It is a bit of a mixture.
It is nice.
Because you also don't want it to be a copy and paste, but you want it to be kind of living true to what it's representing as well. So
yeah, I said this in my video, like there was no way that they could have just done the FNAF 1 game location because it's too small. The location's way too small.
Right.
So yeah, I did say that they're definitely going to make it bigger. So yeah.
Oh, that's fair enough.
I think they've done a really good job. Like, I've got no complaints about the map.
I love when we spawn in, it says Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. It doesn't say pizzeria. It just says pizza. Love that. No, that's fair enough. I wanted to ask as well about Hex as well, which has kind of been your baby. Per se.
It has been my baby.
Yeah, I kind of just wanted to ask like how that originated more than anything, and I guess, you know, where you're at with it at the moment. Are you kind of in a position where, you know, you're happy with the progress, or have you done most of the things you set out to accomplish with Hex? or if you've got any kind of future plans that isn't too, you know, if there's stuff that you're okay sharing, of course. That you're working on. Yeah.
So originally, Hex was a comic. It was a comic made by me and an artist called Hero Shark. They're amazing. And I absolutely love the story. We know the story from start to finish on what's going to happen, but we've only done 2 chapters so far because it's a very long process getting the art made for like a comic. But then I tried to expand it, and because of the inspiration from Hex, like the designs of the dolls and stuff in Hex. You guys want to check that out, by the way. I've got like the motion comics are on my channel and stuff.
Okay.
I'm really hoping in the future though we can do more. I'd love to do like an actual cartoon of it and everything because the story's amazing.
That would be cool.
Basically, it's about like handcrafted dolls. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we actually did merch of like Five Nights at Freddy's plushies with like button eyes and stuff? And it was basically like to kind of have like a vintage vibe to the plushies, which we haven't really seen yet in FNAF.
Okay.
And you know, we've got like the Funko ones and stuff, but like a vintage looking plushie of button eyes and stuff is what I really wanted. And yeah, Scott Cawthon was really nice and trusted me into making this happen. And it's been like 4 years now since it started.
4 years, wow.
Yeah. So we're still doing it. We're still going strong. We're not just doing plushies anymore. We're doing like actual merch of like shirts and stuff. We're actually expanding now. We're actually, I don't know if you know Bendy and the Ink Machine, but we're doing starting to do merch with that. I can leak
cool.
That has been confirmed. But
nice. Okay, I was gonna say we're getting
I can leak this yet or not.
I was gonna say.
But I am in talks, early talks right now for another collab that I think you will like.
Okay.
So that's all I'm gonna say.
That's all you're gonna say for now. I can't.
It's very early, so I can't. Obviously, I'm not gonna say yes, it's happening.
No, of course.
But I'm hoping it will. And again, it's something. I think something that you and your audience will like a lot.
Over here. That's
kind of
pretty cool.
At it already, but yeah.
We'll move on swiftly from that, I guess. But yeah, no. Related to back to, I guess, still talking about other projects and stuff. Is there anything else that you're kind of working on? I guess it doesn't have to be necessarily related to Hex Store, but any other projects that you're kind of in works with outside of anything else that we've spoken about?
Okay, one thing, it's more so to do with charity, actually.
Oh, okay.
Rather than, oh god, hold on, I'm getting chased.
Oh, yeah, no.
So, I actually, so, basically, I'm turning 30 in December, okay? And I'm like, oh god, I'm going through a...
Time flies.
I don't know if it's, like, yeah, I'm going through a crisis, I think.
Oh, no!
And basically, for my 30-year-old crisis, I wanted to do the London Marathon.
Okay.
So, luckily, I've been accepted. I got accepted today.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I'm going to be doing it for the Samaritans. But that's going to be like
awesome.
a really fun thing. Like, I'm going to do a bunch of streams and stuff for it. And I think the end goal is for me to actually dress up as Freddy Fazbear for it.
Oh, okay.
Like get an actual proper costume made by somebody called The Regular Source. He like does like the most insane costumes ever. FNAF costumes. He's so cool. But yeah, that's my project for the rest of the year.
That's
I don't really
exciting.
have anything else other than Hex. Hex has been a big focus for me at the moment. Channel-wise, not really, apart from the new FNAF game coming out in 2 weeks' time. Secret of the Mimic. I'm very excited for that. Yeah.
That's
excited.
Pretty cool. Have there been... I mean, I'm not too well versed with the like the newer the newer kind of Five Nights at Freddy's games. I know there was a spin-off. I think you referenced it earlier on, which was Into the Pit. Yes, which was more of a pixel-based game, if I remember.
It was, yeah.
Was that the first Five Nights at Freddy's game that had that kind of art style? And I guess on a follow-on with that, do you reckon that's going to be kind of the precedent for like future games and media from Five Nights at Freddy's as well? Or do you reckon it's like a one-and-done kind of thing?
Okay, so Into the Pit was made by a different studio called Mega Cat Studios. Basically, there's two different companies now. So Steelwall Studios has been making FNAF VR, Security Breach, and Into the Pit. Secret of the Mimic that's coming out in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Mega Cat Studios' first FNAF game was Into the Pit, but they are going to be making more. I can't 1,000,000% confirm that. But they will. They teased the next game at the end of Into the Pit. Into the Pit did really well for them. Everybody loved it. So I'm 99.9% sure that they're going to be making another FNAF game.
That's exciting.
Things are looking really good right now with FNAF. Like, you know, we've got the movie coming out at the end of this year, which is amazing, by the way. I haven't watched it, but I went to the set in January for the FNAF 2 movie.
This is the second set you've been to then?
Yes.
You got re-invited out?
Place. Yeah, I got re-invited. And it's great.
That's
obviously
awesome.
I can't say much about it, but...
No, of course not.
Things that I saw were, you know, crazy.
That's really cool. So, I'm excited to see what that kind of turns out to be as well, because again, I really enjoy seeing franchises that like just thrive off of like extra media, and I feel like it's really difficult for especially games when they first start out as games to kind of oh, I just got destroyed. To kind of like successfully create media within like you say, Hollywood and you know, normal society, I guess, you know, quote unquote. You know, any other gaming franchise that you would think would have a really successful or popular film or series, I feel like they've always missed the mark. But Five Nights at Freddy's is the first one that I feel like is actually done incredibly well, and been like a success to kind of you know, normal media as well. Yeah,
I think FNAF was one of the first like indie horror games, apart from Slender Man, but that movie did terrible.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A lot of the games kind of get made into movies that I guess aren't the best work that they could be.
Yeah, that's because the creator of the game, no shade, you know, they get like a Hollywood studio and they're like, yeah, we want to make a movie on this, and then they just accept it. And then they don't... The thing with Scott is he had Warner Brothers contact him back in 2015 to make a FNAF movie. And he wanted to be 1,000,000% sure that this was going to be a good movie for the fan base.
Okay.
He didn't want to give the company full control that they could do everything, right?
Right.
And that's, I think that's why the FNAF movie did so well, is because Scott basically had full control. You know, that was the deal.
Yeah,
he had full control of
the creative rights to it all.
Yeah, the creative rights to it, exactly.
Which is such a rare thing to see nowadays, and it actually is a testament to how proud he is of his work and his project, that he wants to continue, even though, like, you know, most people would quite easily kind of sell out, you know, and just let people do whatever they want and take a paycheck at the end. But it's really a testament to his character that he can kind of withhold from that. And
that's a lesson that I think other indie games have learnt now. For example, apparently there's going to be a Poppy Playtime movie coming out in the future. And a Bendy and the Ink Machine movie as well. So yeah, basically,
all things to look forward to.
A lot of film studios have seen what's happened with FNAF, and they want to try and get that same same thing happened to, you know, the other indie games that other indie horror games that are out right now.
Because it could very well be a tried and tested, like, what's it called? Tried and tested, like, method, right?
Yeah, we'll see what happens though, because at the moment, to be fair, a lot of video game movies at the moment are actually good, right?
Yeah, they've been improving
Sonic,
heavily.
Yeah, Sonic and Mario and stuff, like, and I think that's because, like, you know, Nintendo had basically what Scott had, like, a lot of control on what was, you know what I mean, a lot of creative rights to everything.
Exactly.
I feel like that's what a lot of.
Hopefully, that's like the kind of step forward that regular media needed for kind of understanding what people want to see within a film.
Exactly.
Different media.
Yeah. If you keep the fan base happy, then it should, you know, spread round.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me today and having a little chat.
Yeah, no problem.
Is there anything that you want to plug or just say that I can link in the description? Any, like, you know, I can link obviously your channels and stuff, but anything in particular?
Not really, just Hex.store.
Nice.
Look out in the future of that. Like I said, there's some very cool things happening in the future with Hex, so...
I cannot wait to see what else you do with collaborations with that as well. You've got me at the edge of my seat now when you were mentioning it. Thank you so much again, Dawko.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you got this far, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and let me know if this sort of video is something you'd like me to make more of in future.